Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Imagination Insight, the place that has the answers to all your questions. Today, I have a story for you, the story of one of the most horrible experiments ever done on humanity. The story of the Russian sleep experiment. Set in the late 1940s, the experiment was carried out by scientists who were funded by the Soviet Union. They were supposed to test the effects of a gas on a human body. The prisoners were falsely promised that they would be given freedom after the end of the experiment, but they had to comply to live in a gas chamber for 30 days without sleep. If they did not comply, they would be executed immediately for their crimes against humanity as well as the Soviet Union. They were supposed to be kept in a room, a gas chamber to be precise, with all the foods and essential amenities inside the room with them, and the gas would be administered from time to time through the air vents. During the initial days, no unusual behavior was noticed. Apart from sleep, the subjects carried out their day-to-day activities in a normal way. But the subject of their conversations kept getting darker and darker in context. After 9 days, one of the prisoners, the youngest, started screaming uncontrollably. He did not know the reason. And what's more weird was that the other prisoners had no effect whatsoever upon his screaming. They did not try to stop him, or they did not try to know the reason for his screaming at all. He kept screaming for 12 hours. Apparently, he screamed so much that he tore his own vocal cords. He dropped to the floor, paralyzed, and now only a faint whimper could be heard from him. On the day 15th, the researchers wake up to find that the subjects had covered all the portholes with paper and apparently used their own feces as a glue. The researchers demanded the papers to be removed immediately, but the subjects paid no heed to their requests. Now the researchers were in a dilemma, whether to continue the experiment or to stop, fearing their lives. But as usual, they did not fear the lives of the subjects. So they decided to continue the experiment as it was. After 20 days, the researchers decided that the experiment should be ended because the researchers could only hear weird noises from the chamber. Noises of screaming, fighting, and sometimes noises beyond comprehension. The subjects were told through the intercom that they were supposed to stand back against the wall. They would be freed after a thorough checkup, and if they made any sudden movements or any attempts to escape, they would be shot immediately. To the researchers' horror, as soon as the intercom broadcast ended, they heard something from the inside. It was the prisoners speaking, and they said,
"We no longer wish to be freed."
Upon looking inside, the researchers find out that the subjects had performed severe and lethal mutilations and dismemberment upon themselves. They had torn out their own organs. They had clogged the drains with the flesh of each other. Due to this, nearly 2 inches of blood and filth had accumulated upon the floor. The subjects voluntarily refused to be taken out of the room. They fought back with all their might, with increased strength and superhuman abilities to resist the sedatives. As soon as the youngest subject was given the sedatives and he closed his eyes under its influence, he died. Similar thing happened to the oldest. As soon as he closed his eyes due to exhaustion, he died immediately. The third subject was put back into the room along with the researcher. He wanted to know what he had become. Upon asking what he was, the subject replied,
Awake.
When the researchers saw what they had done, when they realized what they had created and the amount of suffering they had inflicted on the subjects, he could not contain himself. He decided to end himself along with the subject's suffering. What he had done, what the men had undergone, shall be written in the pages of history and be remembered throughout time. But he only wished that history could forget what they had done. This would be the darkest chapter written in the history of mankind and in the history of science. Take solace in the fact that this story is just an urban myth, a creepypasta to be exact. That means the story is just fiction. But how can we say that the most twisted of fictions do not have their roots in some equally morbid real life encounters. Most of the imagination has the seat in real life experiences, so we might never know what is the truth behind the Russian sleep experiment. And that was the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and hit that like button if you learned something new today. Do share this video with your friends if you want them also to be smart. And make sure you click the subscribe button to always get more such fun-filled and amazing videos coming to you every Sunday. Goodbye and keep learning.